Hello, hello. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another evening with Eskel. It's been a little bit. I've just decided that my lives are not going to have a specific day or time anymore. So we've gone a little bit without one. But I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. With the holidays and being able to take some time off of work, I'm excited to start doing more videos. I did another review on another Escaping Polygamy episode that should be coming out this week, and we're back to doing a live. I believe this is live Evening with Eskel number 90, and I'm still trying to get to 100, and I think once I get to 100, I'll revamp how often I'll be doing them and stuff, but yeah, the lives, I've just not been able to be consistent for a while, which is okay. I like being able to now just do it whenever. I hated feeling like I was late, getting on and starting my live, just at random times. And if it was just behind my usual schedule, I would always feel like I was behind or late or something. And now there's no specific time, so I can never be late. That's how I like it. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up my video. I don't know why it's not on here. Give me just a minute. Anyways, I hope you're all having a great Sunday. If anything interesting happened to you guys. Oh my goodness. Is it like not public or something? New videos. Live. Huh. I'm not seeing it. I'm just gonna refresh this. Number 90. Oh, I see you guys all on the computer, but it's just giving me a hard time to pull it up. Let me reload this really quickly. Wow. How did you all find this? I can't find my own video on YouTube. This is so weird. I wonder. There we go. Awesome. What's up, guys? Hello, Prudence, Taylor, Pumpkin, Jasmine, Denise. Good to see you again. It's been a while. What's up, Kyle, Irina, Pumpkin Spice Latte, Taylor. What's up, Val? Good to see you guys. Heck yeah. Well, I'm glad you all can tune in and say hi. I found a couple of great quotes. I wanted to share and then talk about a video I recently saw. Just talking about, I think because I'm 25, I think a lot of you guys probably know that. I get a lot of these feeds and videos and motivational quotes about relationships and things. So I saved a couple of them, and it says, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there's any reaction, both are transformed. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal. Wrap it carefully around your hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. The greatest gift you can give someone is your time, your attention, your love, your concern." And I was thinking about that, and I was like, dang, that makes me just think about how there's so many things, and relationships are the same, where the greatest relationships you can have kind of come with the greatest risk, And I think that comes with a lot of things, even just driving your car. When there's freedom and lots of great things that come in this life, they come with great risks. And to fully open up to someone and to have a relationship with them and to love them fully, then it's like they're gonna truly know you, and they in essence can use that against you, you know. So it does make you more vulnerable. It's kind of crazy, but it also shows how powerful and how amazing that relationships can be. And someone was telling me the other day, one of the coolest things that they've like ever experienced in this life was the excitement of meeting someone that they really care about, you know. Whew. And I just think that's really fun. That's something that's been on my mind a lot. Hopefully not due to the social media feed that I get, but that probably has something to do with it. They target the 25-year-olds, I swear. But the video I watched. Okay, so get this. I want to hear you guys' opinion on this. In the video, let me see what they're saying. Okay, cool. I'll go back to reading you guys' comments in a minute. But in the video, it was talking about how every relationship, there will always be differences, and there'll never be 50-50 exactly. Like you'll never find two people that like each other the exact same much. There'll always be someone that likes the other person more, right? And this is what the video was saying. And he was saying, but they've done a test saying that when you're in a relationship and you like the person that you're like pursuing or that you're becoming in a relationship with more than they like you, then technically there is a type of emotional benefit that you can get out of the relationship. And so in essence, they were saying that the type of person that you're pursuing will affect the type of relationship that you have. And I just started thinking about this. I wanted to share kind of like my own interpretation of it, because I totally get that it's probably never 50-50. And this is just my opinion. Now I'm going away from the video. But in my opinion, I was like, sure, it might never be 50-50, but I also don't feel like most people's relationships is going to be like concrete, a specific type of way. Like this person likes this person more and the other person in the relationship doesn't like the other person as much. I feel like it's a lot more organic and constantly kind of like moving and adapting. So one person will maybe like the other person in the relationship more, and then with time it'll change, or they adapt or get more like comfortable with each other or get to know each other more, and it's constantly changing and adapting, right? That's my thought on that. But I don't know. I want to hear you guys' opinions and kind of just like turn this into a discussion, because ever since I saw the video, I've been thinking about it, and like, I wonder how common that is, first of all, and then how true that is, if they've actually like run like legit tests that show those results and not just, you know, in a rare circumstance. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, because also I feel like when, like, a lot of the times in this channel we compare the different relationships that we are seeing to toxic relationships. They're very similar to what the relationships are like when you grow up in a controlling environment. And so it just made me think about how there's got to be so much more to the relationship than just toxic or not, toxicity or not. Because as much as the toxic relationship, of course, is bad and you want to avoid it, I feel like with a lot of relationships, if you want to not only avoid toxic relationships, but not let your relationship become a toxic one, you kind of have to study and learn about relationships in and of itself, and analyze what type of relationship you yourself are getting yourself into, you know? Okay, let's hear some of you guys' thoughts. I like pumpkin spice latte, getting ready for the holidays. Nice. Denise is asking, Val, what are your watch hours for now? 50 more before 4,000. Okay, so Val only needs 50 more watch hours, it sounds like, till he can get monetized, you guys. Go watch some of his videos. Once I finish this, Val, I'll pull up like 10 tabs of your videos and just keep them on replay, okay? Rewatching still adds hours, yes. Pumpkin spice latte says she's gonna help you out, Val. Heck yeah. It does, Denise. Gave me all my hours, I swear. Heck yeah. I just used my VPN to have it count as views as well as hours. There you go. The risk opens you up for heartbreak, but I love a good heartbreak. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Even though it is painful and it'll hurt, in the end, it can still be worth it. You don't always have to avoid hardship and pain. I like that, Val. That's a really good point. What's up, Todd? We got Todd here to share some deep wisdom. He says, hi, all. I'm late because I was fixing one of the guitars. Don't worry. You can't be late to these anymore because I'm not going to have a specific time. The lives, I'm just going to have them be whenever I've got free time now. So just keep an eye out for that notification. It can pop up at any time now. So this should be fun. It's going to be a lot less stressful for me. So I'm excited about that. Okay. By the way, Todd, we're just talking about relationships and a video I watched about how it's never 50-50 in a relationship. But also, I just barely thought of this. Why do you guys think it is? I mean, I don't think there's necessarily an answer to this, but isn't it kind of interesting also that the most common relationship, maybe not the most common, but a very common relationship I see is it seems like the girl is always like way out of the guy's league. And like someone was describing the other day, they were like, it seems like this freaking a gorilla is in a relationship with this Greek goddess, like this beautiful woman, you know? And I started like paying attention, and it's like, it does seem very common that the girls are way better looking than the guys. And I wonder why that is, you know? I wonder if it's something in just like the society that we're in right now that this is more common, or if it's just that's just how it's always been throughout our society, or what. But I feel like I do see those kinds of relationships pretty common, pretty often anyway. But what's up, Mark? He probably treats her well. Yeah. I'm not saying like I should dive in more into this. Well, like, first of all, keep in mind, this is all just my opinion. I don't actually go and run tests or anything. I'm just kind of like sharing my thoughts and opinions on all of this, and having it open to you guys share what you guys think about it all. But there's so much to relationships. I would never just, look at someone or talk to people in a relationship for 1 minute and be like, oh, I know exactly what the situation is, or like she's way out of his league, whatever. Because yeah, there's so many things. There's their personalities. There's the type of relationship that they want out of each other. It's not always just one specific thing. So I know there's a lot that goes into it. It just is kind of funny that at least like off of first impressions, then it oftentimes does seem like the girl is out of the guy's league. But Todd's saying, how much money does the guy make? I hear that. Well, I hear the topic of finances being brought up a lot more nowadays than I feel like in the past. And maybe it's just for me, because when I was a young broke college student, then all the people I was around were just young broke college students, and we wouldn't really talk about finances. But I swear, the older I get, the more finances become like a essential part of every discussion that I have with people all the time. It's crazy. Taylor Renee has a very interesting point. They're saying, men go for looks and women go for personality. LOL. I've heard that before too, but I don't feel like it's quite that black and white. I think the scale is probably leaning towards that direction, where guys prioritize that a little bit more and girls prioritize the personality a little bit more. But I feel like there's got to be a lot more to it. And so that's probably just one part of the equation. But who knows? I could totally be wrong. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe we're all just super shallow. Mark says, never judge a book by its cover. The nicest guy I've ever known looked like a stereotypical bully. Oh, wow. His nickname was even Bully. What? Aw. That would be a rough nickname to have to live with. Val says, guys are very visually stimulated. Women aren't my specialty, but they definitely let me slip on physical appearances. Let men slip on physical appearances. I see. Yeah, and I think a lot of it could come down to society. That's where we could even have a whole discussion on nature versus nurture. But I think bottom line, the culture that we live in, tends to put a lot more pressure on women to look good. And like, they market all these different types of makeups and things for girls. And I just don't feel like there's as much pressure put on the guys. But that being said, society pressure shouldn't necessarily be what determines how we all live, right? Even though it does affect us all, probably more than we want it to. But sweet. But yeah, anyways, that's what I've been pondering about for the last little while. I tried to have this discussion with my friend. He was telling me about how he was speeding the other day. Oh my gosh. So, okay, get this. This is actually pretty funny. He calls me and he's like, dude, it's so weird how the speeding limit is like, all the cops are all so nitpicky and always watching for anyone going 5 over the speeding limit, and you can get in so much trouble just for going a little bit too fast on the highway. And I was like, what happened? What did you do? He's like, the other day I was just going a little bit quick on the highway, and he was probably, I don't know how fast he was going, but I bet he was going like 80 or 90 on a highway that the speed limit was probably like 70 or something. And he said he was going super fast, but people were going the same fast as him. Like, there were some people even passing him. So him and his like gears in his mind decides that since everybody's doing it, he's gonna do it too. And he keeps up with them, but he's when he's telling me the story, he's like, I'm gonna be smart about it. And he goes and he weaves his way kind of in between some of the cars. So he's got like 2 or 3 cars speeding in front of him, a couple cars speeding behind him. And his thought process is, if I do this, then if a cop notices all 5 of us speeding, then they're gonna either get the person in the front or the back of the group. There's no way a cop's gonna be able to stop all of them, right? And so maybe he was kind of, at least he put a lot of thought into it. I don't know if this would work, but he's speeding with all these people, right? And they start slowing down really fast. He had to freaking slam on his brakes just to not hit the car in front of him. And they're going like 60 miles per hour now, below the speed limit. And he's just like, what is going on? And so he gets in the other lane to pass. And just as he's about to speed up past them, he sees a police officer parked. He goes and passes goes right in front of the cop, right at the speed. So he wasn't speeding at all. So the cop couldn't pull him over. And he's just like making eye contact with his cop, like, you can't do nothing. And he just goes on his merry little way. And so he was this close to getting a speeding ticket, but somehow the people in front of him knew. So they were all just kind of like looking out for each other. It was kind of funny. But he goes on, and this is just his opinion. I don't necessarily agree with him. But he was all like, I feel like the punishment for speeding should just be like punishments for teenagers, like a slap on the wrist and you have to go to your room. And I just played devil's advocate with him. I was like, are you kidding me? If every time you got a speeding ticket or pulled over for speeding, you got like 30 minutes of house arrest or whatever, that would probably be worse than just having to pay a fine. And so a lot of the times his logic doesn't make perfect sense, but it was funny to see kind of like what he was thinking about it all, I personally, I don't know. I have my own opinions, but when it comes to speeding, I don't really have much of a strong opinion on that, because there's always the risk of other people getting hurt. The law that I think is kind of crazy is seatbelts. That's one where literally only one person is being put at risk with seatbelts. So why is it a government required law for everyone to wear seatbelts? Whereas at least with speeding, the reason why I don't necessarily debate that or anything, because it's the chance of other people getting hurt, right? But when it's just seatbelts, it's just yourself. So to me, I think that's one where I can have a strong opinion about how that shouldn't necessarily be a legal law. Because like literally, for not wearing a seatbelt, you can get pulled over, have to pay fines, and if it happens enough, you can get your license revoked. So basically, your free agency is taken away from you, and you're not able to run a motor vehicle anymore for not wearing a seatbelt, for not keeping yourself safe, even though no one else is a variable in having that risk, So I think it's kind of interesting, especially when helmets on motorcycles, it's totally optional. I mean, some states it is legally required, but a lot of states don't require you to wear helmets when you're going, 70 miles an hour on the freeway with a motorcycle, and you hit anything, you're dead without a helmet. You're 100% dead. But, that's up to you. And I'm still saying, I agree 100%. It's much safer to wear a helmet when you're riding a motorcycle. It's much safer to wear your seatbelt. But I still think it should be up to you as the individual because you're the person being put at risk. Maybe this is very controversial, but that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that this is how everything should be ran or anything. But, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on that whole tangent. But it was kind of interesting. Everyone has their own ways and opinions of how all that should go. Curious what your guys' thoughts are on that. We're probably going to... Oh, yeah, let's read these comments. So... Kyle says that women value more than looks, like success and personality. Okay, yeah, that's a similar opinion to Taylor's. Crystal says, long time no see. I know. What's up? Glad you could be here. Mark says, women may have more pressure to look good, but they have plenty of emotional support. Men are under the tremendous pressure to not show emotional weakness, and doing so gets them labeled as weak. Okay, I feel you there, Mark, but I feel like that's a different category, because that's like in a deeper level, their emotions and their personality and who they are, whereas when you're taking that into account, that's probably very likely one of the different categories, but I don't know how that would necessarily relate to looks at all. If you're comparing a man's emotions to a woman's looks, that's like two different categories that you're comparing it to, which I'm sure that people getting into relationships consider both of those, but I just don't know if they necessarily relate to one another. Oh, Todd's playing devil's advocate here. I like this, Todd. Okay, let's talk about it. So Todd says, what about insurance companies that have to pay your medical bills because you were an idiot and didn't wear a helmet? Okay. See? So then this is what I'm talking about. This is genius, Todd. I love this. I like where you're going with this. Now, the reason why I think this is important to talk about is because I agree with you, Todd. Insurance companies should consider that, because I also agree wearing a helmet would be safer. If I was an insurance company, I would probably allow people to not pay as much if they wear helmets or if they're a safer person, right? But this is where I think there should be a separation from the government legally requiring it and able to take away your rights and freedoms for not following it, versus an insurance company should 100% be able to evaluate their clients and the people that they give insurance to based off of what they do, but it should still be up to the individual. If I found out my insurance was going to be $1,000 a month if I don't wear a helmet, I'm probably going to wear a helmet, but that's up to me to decide based on what insurance company I'm going with. The only thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it is legally required and backed by all of our police officers off of our, the government itself is the one enforcing it. So that's where I think it gets really complicated. But I agree with you 100%. Insurance companies should be able to take in consideration how safe of a person you are and apply it to your insurance. Great comment, Todd. I love comments like that. All right, Val says, can men be vulnerable and still be attractive? What? I'm sure they can. Yeah, I mean, of course it depends on the person. I would not be surprised if there's some girls out there that are like, oh, I never want to be with an emotional man. Which, if they feel that way, that's their opinion. That's their prerogative if they want to be that way. But I also guarantee you there's got to be girls out there that are understanding and would be okay with the person that they're with being vulnerable, because it just kind of shows that they have emotions, that they're a human being. I feel like when a guy never ever shows any emotion, it's not that he doesn't have any emotions, it's that he's basically lived his whole life finding ways to avoid it or to suppress it or to not let it show, because he's still human, it's still going to affect him, but he's just not going to let it show through it all, which everyone's different. Some people are that way, and some girls prefer, one over the other. So I don't think it's that they just won't ever be attractive. I think that it's a different type of attraction to different people, in my opinion. But I'm no specialist. But it's fun to hear you guys' thoughts on all this, though. I like it. Popcorn Golden says, I can't be in long, but wanted to just hop in and say hi. Well, can you share your opinion? I'm curious what you think about the relationship one and the seatbelt one. I don't want to dive deep into the whole speeding one because I feel like I said, that one has too many variables to it. But the seatbelt one, I think, is very self-explanatory, very simple, straightforward. It seems very easy for me to have a strong opinion of it not having to be governmentally enforced. But the relationship one is also has lots of variables too. So, but the relationship one though, I think it's fun to discuss that because it's not like there's any huge, like if we get it wrong, it's not like it's gonna change anything drastically. If we think looks matter more than they actually do, it's like, okay, so you're gonna spend a little more time caring about your looks, okay. But it's still fun to brainstorm it because then at least we get other perspectives and can get a better idea on how people perceive it and what others think about it, Taylor says, I think a misconception is that women don't like when men are vulnerable, but it's the opposite. That's why we love seeing men with babies, because they're actually being sweet and soft. Ooh, see? Okay, yeah. So, if I understand Taylor correctly, she's basically saying society always puts on this front saying that women don't like to see men vulnerable. But the reality is women don't mind it. They like seeing a man being able to have that vulnerable side. And yeah, I can totally see that. I think a lot of people, society is trying to share these ideas and these expectations for billions of people. So it's going to be impossible for them to be necessarily correct, right? So society's norms are just going to attempt at getting the vast majority of people, or what they think the vast majority of people want and prefer, and try and display that, So it's very interesting to see what they're trying to display, right? But all right, Ali says, well, unfortunately, I'm attracted to the variable men, not the vulnerable. But that's my shit, and I'm working on it. We're all just a work in progress. Exactly, yeah. That's why I think it's fun to discuss these, because it's not that big of a deal if you have a different opinion or different ideas. But it's, it's like that. I think it's more organic than we think. We're all constantly adapting and learning new things. Popcorn Golden says, I speed too much, so I don't know if I should talk on that. Oh boy. But for relationships, there is more than just looks that matter, but you do also have to be attracted to them. It can't just be personality. Okay. So they're of the opinion that you can't only like their personality. You have to like more attributes about them. I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, Todd says, first responders have to respond, which prevents them from going to other calls, like not being able to help a DV victim because of a head injury. Ooh, wow, Todd. You're playing the devil's advocate very well. See, that's a perspective I haven't thought about. Not wearing a seatbelt or not wearing a helmet really can affect more than just yourself, from what Todd was just sharing, because if you do get in an accident and your head gets decapitated because you weren't wearing a helmet, then those responders that are going out to assist you are going to be not able to assist other people because they're assisting you. And I suppose that could, to some degree, be applied to a seatbelt as well. If you get in a crash and because you weren't wearing your seatbelt, you get extremely injured, when the people come to help you, they're going to have to spend more time assisting you because your injury is worse than maybe it would have been if you would have worn the seatbelt. So that's a good point, but on the contrary side to that, I think that could also play into a part that comes to supply and demand on the medical side. If we need more medical attention, need more people in the healthcare field, need more ambulances in the city, that I think could also be, can counter what the effects are if you're injured, because no matter what, if you get injured, we're going to need medical attention. There's going to always need to be, ambulances available, people able to help. But that's a really good point. I'm glad you shared that, Todd. I like that perspective. Keeping an open mind. Gotta look at all the other variables. Mark says, I've known too many stories where a guy showed vulnerability to his woman and she later used that in a later argument. Oh, and oftentimes left them. Whoa. Dang, that's deep, Mark. I can see that happening. Dang. Whew. Yeah, I think that's definitely happened to some people for sure. I think a man that's able to express himself is a huge plus. Yeah, expression, proper communication. I think all of those are very important. Let's see. What types of relationships? Oh yeah, my timer just went off. So we're going to be wrapping this up really soon. But you guys have all shared some really great stuff. I like it. This is awesome. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to end this on a positive note then, because I'm not trying to just say like, oh, our laws are crazy or everyone's relationships is weird. I think no matter what, even if you get into a relationship and it's going to stumble, it's probably not going to work out, I still feel like when you have the opportunity and you understand kind of what you're getting yourself into, then the joy of that experience can outweigh the risks. And the life that we are living in has so many great things to experience and just, amazing opportunities that you shouldn't let the fear of not knowing all the aspects of the relationships with the person that you're dating scare you from being able to get to know them and let that relationship grow and bond and become this very strong, amazing thing. Because I think that's kind of like one of the unspoken joys of this life. Like, we don't know necessarily how everything's going to pan out. And I think the not knowing, like the excitement of anything can happen, I think that's one of the greatest parts of the life that we're living. Being able to explore this amazing adventure, meet these people that have, so many fascinating aspects about them. And we get to learn about them. We get to meet them and get to know them and explore and enjoy this wonderful life with them. And I feel like we're all sharing this world together, so we might as well get to know each other better and enjoy our time together. And I think there's a lot of good that can come from that. As well as when it comes to laws and stuff, there's going to be some things we don't all agree with. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to hate the government and be mad at everybody. It's like, there's so many people. There's millions of people in America. Our government is also trying to balance what's best for a bunch of people, what they think is best. And so I still think it's up to us to share our opinions and to educate people and let them know if something doesn't seem right. And like what Todd was doing, try and share multiple perspectives so that, if you're upset and mad about something and then a new perspective is brought up to you and that can help you to understand and actually appreciate some of these things that are put into place, then that's all that it needs. That's so much better to go about your day and be excited and happy about the country that you live in and be able to support the leaders that are there, rather than not fully understanding it, and just because of that lack of information, then it's going to just ruin your day. I feel like the more you know, the more you can accept and better understand and enjoy the life that you're living, just the better off it'll be overall. And so, even though I don't agree with everything, and I don't think everyone should agree with everything, and I love when people play devil's advocate and share their own opinions, that's what makes each individual so great and awesome, that we're all unique. We all are able to share and uplift each other and open each other's minds. So thanks for doing that, you guys. I really appreciate that. Ooh, and thank you, Allie, for the donation. She says, so glad to see you, Eskel. All the positive vibes your way. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the donations, you guys. Those are awesome. But yeah, I'm all out of time. But to thank you guys, I'll be going live again who knows when, and I should be posting another Escaping Polygamy review video this week. So I hope you guys like that, and I'll see you all in the next one. So sweet. Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a good week.